Wall Street didn't miss Enron because it was stupid. It missed Enron because it was convinced. At its peak, Enron wasn't just a company. It was a symbol of innovation, intelligence, and financial genius. Analysts praised it. Politicians protected it. Journalists admired it. And investors trusted it with their money, their pensions, and their future. What almost no one realized was that Enron wasn't just hiding losses. It was hiding reality itself. This wasn't a sudden collapse. It was a carefully constructed illusion that lasted 4 years. And the most disturbing part isn't that Enron lied. It's that the lie was visible to anyone who knew where to look. But almost no one did. Enron started as a boring energy company. Pipelines, natural gas, regulated profits, predictable margins. Then deregulation arrived, and with it came an opportunity to transform energy into something abstract, something financial, something tradable. Enron stopped selling gas and started selling complexity. Electricity futures, bandwidth markets, weather derivatives, ideas that sounded so advanced that questioning them felt like admitting ignorance. That was the first layer of the lie. Complexity as camouflage. Enron told Wall Street it had reinvented business itself. It wasn't an energy company anymore. It was a market maker, a platform, a machine that could turn volatility into guaranteed profit. And the numbers seemed to support it. Revenue exploded. The stock price climbed relentlessly. Executives became celebrities. Enron was named America's most innovative company 6 years in a row. But innovation became the perfect excuse to stop explaining things. Behind the scenes, Enron was bleeding cash. Many of its projects failed. Entire divisions lost money. But instead of reporting losses, Enron learned how to move them, hide them, erase them from view. Not by breaking the rules outright, but by bending accounting principles until they snapped. This is where the real scam begins. Enron used a technique called mark-to-market accounting. In theory, it allowed companies to record the estimated future profits of a deal immediately. In practice, it allowed Enron to book imaginary gains today for money it might never earn. A contract expected to make profits over 10 years, Enron counted it all up front. If the deal later failed, Telos didn't show up where investors could see it. It disappeared into partnerships that weren't supposed to exist. These partnerships had names. LJM Chuco Raptors. They sounded legitimate, structured, professional. In reality, many were designed for one purpose: to absorb Enron's losses and keep them off the balance sheet. And here's the critical detail almost everyone missed at the time. Enron controlled them. The same executives running Enron were quietly profiting from the entities meant to hide its debt. The fox wasn't guarding the henhouse. The fox owned the farm. Now, here's where I want you to pay attention, because this is the promise I'm making you. Around the middle of this video, I'm going to explain the single psychological mechanism Enron exploited that made smart analysts, elite banks, regulators, and auditors all look the other way at the same time. Not because they didn't see the red flags, but because seeing them became uncomfortable. And once you understand this mechanism, you'll recognize it instantly in modern companies that haven't collapsed yet. We'll come back to this. As Enron's internal problems grew, its external image became more aggressive. Executives sold confidence. They mocked skeptics. Analysts who questioned Enron were ridiculed, cut off from management, or quietly pressured by their own firms. Enron became untouchable, not because it was transparent, but because it was powerful. Arthur Andersen, one of the most respected accounting firms in the world, signed off on Enron's books. Banks structured deals that helped Enron hide debt while collecting enormous fees. Credit rating agencies delayed downgrades even as warning signs piled up. Everyone involved had incentives not to look too closely. This wasn't ignorance, it was alignment. As long as Enron's stock rose, everyone won. Executives cashed bonuses, banks earned fees. Analysts kept access, politicians received donations, and investors saw only one thing: price going up. That's how the illusion sustained itself. not through secrecy, but through shared benefits. Inside Enron, employees were encouraged to believe the story too. Internal rankings rewarded aggression and punished caution. Questioning deals was framed as disloyalty. Fear replaced curiosity. By the time doubts surfaced, they came from the outside. Journalists, a few skeptical analysts, and one inconvenient fact: cash flow. Enron reported massive profits, but its cash flow didn't match. Money wasn't actually coming in. The company was surviving on borrowing, asset sales, and accounting gymnastics. Eventually, the math could no longer be hidden. Confidence cracked. The stock fell. Credit ratings dropped. Partnerships collapsed. Once the illusion broke, it unraveled fast. Enron filed for bankruptcy in 2001. Tens of thousands lost jobs. Employees lost pensions. Investors lost billions. Arthur Andersen collapsed under the weight of its involvement. And now we return to the promise. The core mechanism Enron exploited was not accounting. It was social proof combined with authority. When enough powerful institutions signal belief, doubt feels irrational. Enron didn't convince people it was profitable. It convinced them that everyone else already believed it was. And once belief becomes consensus, truth becomes irrelevant. This is why Enron matters today. Because modern markets are filled with companies that don't sell products. They sell narratives, platforms, future potential, revolutionary ideas that are always just one breakthrough away from profitability. And just like Enron, they rely on complexity, confidence, and credibility to delay scrutiny. Enron wasn't the last corporate lie. It was the prototype. If you understand how Enron worked, you stop asking, "Is this legal?" and start asking who benefits from not asking questions. You learn to watch cash instead of headlines, incentives instead of promises, and silence instead of hype. And here's the final truth most people miss. Enron didn't fool Wall Street alone. Wall Street helped fool itself. If you want to understand how the biggest financial lies are built, sustained, and normalized before they collapse, subscribe to the channel. This video is part of a larger series on the greatest financial scandals in history. Each one reveals a pattern. And once you see the pattern, it's very hard to unsee it, because the next Enron won't look like Enron, but it will feel exactly the same.